Hey, so you have to excuse the state of me. I don't feel very well. I've got a sore throat and just generally feel yucky. Yucky, yucky. But I wanted to pop on and do this quick live because I've been meaning to do it for a little while. I've been asked. Sorry, I'm just messing with Marple. Say hello, Marps. Say hello. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. He's chilling. I think he's feeling a bit like I'm feeling, aren't you? He's been very lethargic. Just chilling with me. So, yeah, I wanted to do this video. I've been asked so many times about alcohol recently. And I know it's because it's the festive period. And I know that people, maybe more inclined to drink a bit more around this, this time of year, and then get to January and then beat themselves up for it. And then say, a lot of people do dry January, and people have made comment to me that they feel less anxious when they are not drinking alcohol. Some people say it's a big problem for their mental health when they drink alcohol. Now, we know alcohol is a depressant. Like, we know that. That's a given. And like most things, everything in moderation is not necessarily an issue, is it? It is legal to drink alcohol, and it's down to each individual person's preference. Okay, so this is definitely, absolutely not about me saying do drink or don't drink. I like a drink, and I pay the price for it sometimes the next day if I've done it, and it is what it is. So this isn't about saying drinking is good for you, bad for you, and actually, if you want to know what's good for your health or not good for your health, etc., then you want to be looking at, the government guidelines for alcohol units, etc. And that's not what I'm talking about. But one thing, what I am talking about is, when I used to get hangovers, I would suffer really, really badly with anxiety the next day and for the next few days. And sometimes that could actually go on for well over a week. Now, say, for example, me and my husband went out together and we would drink the same amount of alcohol, and we would potentially, have the potential for the same hangover, for the same experience the next day. And actually it was always very different. Now, it's not because he's a man and I'm a woman. I'm actually taller than him. I'm bigger than him. I can actually probably take my alcohol more than he is. He will get drunk much quicker than I will. He's a bit of a lightweight. And in actual fact, but his hangovers would be different to mine. So I would wake up in the middle of the night with my heart racing, and then I would go into complete fear of, oh my God, what is happening? Why have I done this? Oh, hang on. What's going on there? Why has it just turned itself around? And he would just be wondering about where his next bit of food's coming from, and it would just pass for him. It would, obviously wouldn't feel brilliant, but it would just pass. Whereas for me, it would become such a big deal. Now, if you look up medically what happens, and again, I'm not a medical professional, but I have done training courses in prisons around alcohol, so I do know a fair bit about it. When alcohol is in our system, yes, alcohol suppresses the nervous system, and that's why people feel maybe more chilled out, and they think that actually they feel more relaxed. But actually, we also know it's a depressant. But what it also does is, when the alcohol, which effectively is poison in our bodies, when our body is processing and getting rid of the alcohol, our heart speeds up. It has to speed up in order to deal with it and to process the alcohol and get it out of our systems. So your heart will naturally increase. The heart rate increases. Now, so for example, that would happen with me in the middle of the night. My heart would be racing and I would wake up. And then what I would then do is I would overthink that. I would panic. I would go, oh no, here's my anxiety and it's my fault because I've drank. And then, my the thought process I'd be having would be very quick and very quick fire and all of that stuff because my heart had sped up. And so I'd get in this vicious cycle. So often the reason people can feel more anxious when they drink is not because actually alcohol directly causes anxiety, but because it speeds up the heart rate. And if you're somebody that has suffered with anxiety, or somebody that is very sensitive to physical symptoms and things like that, like I was, then sorry, I'm just turning my notifications off. Then what you will probably do is straight away start to realise that your heart's racing, potentially worry about it, start to kind of think, well, you know, why is that? And then this is where the vicious cycle continues. You have more thoughts about it, more overthinking. You then start to beat yourself up, potentially, like I used to. Why have I done this? I'm so silly. I know this is what happens. I'm going to be terrible all week. And then setting myself up massively to fail, rather than just accepting what is. My heart is racing because there's poison in my body and it's being processed. And that was my choice to do that. Now, so that is what is happening. And so that's why there is a correlation with anxiety and with alcohol, and that's why people will struggle and will suffer, because the heart rate is increasing. And now, as I said, I'm not here to say don't drink alcohol or do drink alcohol or whatever. And then also, I mean, again, if you wanted to look into this more, you can find out actually if you do that over a prolonged period of time, then your heart gets so used to having to work faster that it will then start repeatedly beating in general faster, etc. And that's where it can then cause obviously problems and issues physically. But if you're talking about drinking every now and then, and, you know, socially drinking however often, and feeling that it gives you anxiety, it increases your heart rate, and then you are zoning in on that, homing in on that, making of it what you will, and beating yourself up potentially. And so now the difference for me, having explored these 3 principles, is yes, of course I still get a hangover, and of course my heart still starts racing, but I know what it is. I know why it is. I don't overthink it. I was going to say then I don't beat myself up. Actually, that's not true. Sometimes I do, because it's habitual and I just start to question, why have I done this? But I don't let it fester for days like it used to, because I just go, it is what it is. I made the choice to drink. Now my heart's working faster. That's all it is. It's not, I'm not dying. I'm not going into a panic attack. I am literally just processing. The consequences are I'm processing the alcohol out of my system, and that means my heart is working a bit faster. So I just wanted to share that really, because I have been asked about it a heck of a lot recently. And so I thought I'd just give that little insight into it, really, just a very quick, brief little insight. And I'm not going to go on any further because, as I say, I actually feel like shit. I've got a sore throat, feeling a little bit sorry for myself. So I'm probably going to go and lie in bed and watch something on Netflix. Okay, bye for now.